Gentrification has become a hot topic over the last few decades, and the general public has identified neighborhoods in their own communities that they believe have fallen victim to this economic development and inevitable cultural displacement. These views are formed through local news, media, and community organizations and are an important component to understanding what gentrification is and how it can be measured economically, politically, and socially. After doing my own search of the media using a news aggregator, which is just a fancy word for an online search engine, I gathered the 20 top articles in relation to gentrification in San Diego and generated a word cloud from the word use frequency. As you can see, North Park and Barrio Logan, having the largest text, are the two communities that the public thinks are most greatly gentrifying. The question is, though, is the public right? Can the public accurately identify communities that are gentrifying? Gentrification is a phenomenon commonly associated with economic revitalization and displacement of low-income residents. While it's a relatively new term in urban sociology, it has already been researched thoroughly by academics and scholars. The most cited and reputable scholar who has found measurements for empirically calculating gentrification is Roland Atkinson. His research spelled out 7 main factors that help indicate whether or not gentrification is taking place in any given area. These 7 are working class, unskilled labor, households privately renting, ethnicity, unemployed, elderly, and lone parent. In his study of London, England over an entire decade, he found that gentrification exists if working class, unskilled labor, households privately renting, ethnicity, and elderly decrease, while unemployed and lone parent increase. I used these measurements as a representation of the scholar's perception of gentrification and thus used census data over the last decade to calculate if North Park and Barrio Logan match up to Atkinson's findings. As it turns out, North Park was right up to par with the gentrification measurements. As you can see based on this table, working class, unskilled labor, households privately renting, ethnicity, and elderly all decreased as expected based on the scholar's work, and unemployed and lone parent increased. On the other hand, Barrio Logan did not match gentrified London, England. Based on the census data, all 7 demographic trends increased. Now, putting all of the trends together, this table demonstrates the increases and decreases of each community measured: London, England, North Park, Barrio Logan, and a control community, Claremont. As you can see, North Park matches the trends of London, while Barrio Logan does not. These results make sense when physically looking at the communities as well. On my own explorations, I noticed that North Park has nice grassy parks, fancy upscale eateries, and various construction and art projects. The area, at least to me, did not look like a low-income community color anymore. Barrio Logan, however, did not look like North Park. Upon looking around, I noticed the Coronado Bridge divided the community. Their commercial areas were mostly small mom-and-pop stores targeted at many different cultures, and their famed Chicano Park, while beautiful with all the local art, is located under a highway overpass with lots of traffic and noise pollution. Since one community matched up and the other didn't, I decided to look back at the news articles to see if they provided any sort of explanation. What I found was that the articles discussing North Park were written in the past or present tense, while articles written for Barrio Logan were mostly in the future tense. While this may explain why the measurements did not match for Barrio Logan, this verb tense and additional hyperbolic language used to describe gentrification in these communities has been misleading to the general public. Since the public is taking in information from their news that states Barrio Logan either is or will be gentrifying, it translates to people simply assuming that it's true. The overall significance of these findings is that the media needs to be more objective in educating its audience on issues of gentrification. With more objectivity, better communication can be forged between scholars and the public to effectively advocate for their communities.